Hello everyone, it is Darth Farta here. Sorry for a little bit of a break, I was on vacation, but today we're reviewing probably one of the best UCS Lego Star Wars sets ever made, and that is the UCS Lego Star Wars Razor Crest. This released a few years back, I believe in 2022 or 2023. It depicts the first season of The Mandalorian, and when it first came out, it released and retailed for $650. You get 4 minifigures, 1 buildable animal, and a ginormous Lego set. I mean, this thing is massive. But before we get into that, let's dive into the minifigs. Our very first minifigure is probably my favorite in the set, and that is Din Djarin, also known as the Mandalorian. This is his season 1 outfit, a bit before he starts getting his Beskar armor, and it is amazing. That side printing on his arms is exquisite. His gun is nice. Just the detailing all around, and most importantly, that helmet is beautiful. I love it so much. God, and if you take his helmet off, you actually can get his. You actually see his face for the very first time, and it also comes with this hairpiece. There it is. It's just a nice dark brown wavy hairpiece. Very nice. The cape is nice. Just overall, I'd give this like a 10 out of 10 figure. I love this figure. Next up, we have Grogu in his white pram. Very nice build for the pram. Very accurate. And Grogu, or, Baby Yoda, as people were calling him when he first came out, he's still in the older baby design with like the very chunky back. In the new Mandalorian Grogu movie, they're actually updating his entire character, so he looks, more accurate. But this is still a great figure. You got some small detailing on the torso. Again, none of the hands move, but the head does swivel. And then he just sits down in his pram like so, like that, and there it is. Great addition. Of course, we had to have this. Very good to get it, and with the pram as well. Very nice addition to the set. Next up is probably my least favorite character, and that is, I think it's a Narthwal. It's the blue, like, alien guy that the Mandalorian has to capture in the very first episode. Forget his name. But I really do not like this figure. I think having no printing on the actual legs is a huge miss out. The detailing on the torso is alright, but my least favorite part is the head. Why not? You're paying $650, right? I should get a figure worth that amount of money. Or I guess I shouldn't say worth that amount of money, but a figure that is worth a good bit of money. And to get just such a half-baked figure, I'm very disappointed. I wish they would have molded his actual head. But besides that, I mean, he's an alright figure. But man, Lego, what a letdown, what a figure. And last up, we have Queel. He's the guy that kind of helps Mandalorian, become, I guess, a better person. He unfortunately passes away, spoiler alert, in the end of season 1 after being shot. Yeah, I know, spoiler alert for a what? 5-6-year-old show at this point. But I really do like this character. I think if they had a printed head, this would have been terrible. But they don't. They don't skimp out. They actually, actually make a mold for him, which, is the bare minimum. He comes with a little backpack on his back. He's got a little wrench. And he actually comes with his animal that he uses. You can just stick him on there. Great animal build. You can't move the jaw. You can move his little arms. They're like just regular droid arms. Very solid build. And you get the eyes, printed eyes. Overall, great build. Great figure. The figure selection is probably the least amazing part, but they do still have some great, figures throughout. But there are some, most notably this guy, who's a big letdown. But as you can see, you can actually stand the figures onto the display stand, and you got a little stud for the animal that you can just, if I can get it right, there we go. Now to the display, it just says Star Wars Razor Crest, model ST-70 assault ship. It's a gunship. Its length is 24.3 meters, and it has 2 forward-mounted repeating heavy laser cannons, and the owner is Din Djarin. So that's the plaque and the figures. Now let's move on to the beast. Man, and just looking at the outside, I mean, the amount of detail and building techniques, and it's just by the way, it's symmetrical. So what you see on this side is pretty much going to be on the same on the other side. As you can see, you get some landing gear. You can't take it off. I don't know why you'd want to take it off. You don't really want to swoosh around a set of this magnitude. But let's start with the guns. Very nice details of guns. They can just kind of pop out like that. And, you got some great detailing on here. I love the way it was built to make it actually look huge. And it just slides kind of just right back into there. Like that. You got some nice detail with the yellowness. I just don't really like the gray sticker on the actual gray smooth plates, because I think it just throws it off. But it does look very nice, especially when you look further away. Very nice building techniques. And this little piece right here, you can actually grab the stud, and not the stud, but this little, like, not handle piece, but you know what I mean. And you can pull it out, and boom. You got a walk in to the inside, which we'll get to later. It's the same on the other side. If you want me to show y'all, I will. You just fold out just like that. You get peek on the inside. And that just can close right back up. And go right in. Now, let's get on into the inside. So none of these like giant plates are connected like securely. Like if I picked this up and tilted it, this would all just be falling off. Example shown, like the cockpit piece, it just lifts up. There, it doesn't. It's not stood. It's not connected to anything. It sits on this smooth area, and it sits in place with these pieces that kind of keep it aligned. But let's start at the top. We can just pull this giant piece out. Actually, you know what? I'll get to that later. I'm going to put it back in. There we go. So, at first, we got Din Djarin's main seat. You got a bunch of details with some panels. You can get the little knob that Grogu plays with on here. And you can actually sit Din Djarin in there. Like so. Like so. And you can take his gun. And all the way back here, he's got a little place for it. Right there. Moving back, you get a few more seats. You can place Queel or Baby Yoda / Grogu, or any other Mandalorian figures you might have collecting any of the other sets. You can go back here, and this door opens up just like that. As you get through there, you get a little ladder heading downstairs. We'll get to that in a second. And on here, you got a little stud, little, I guess, I don't know what to exactly call it, but it can actually fit Grogu's pram right there. Very nice. You got some accessories back over here. I love this top section. And the best part about it is this piece can just lift out just like that. And now we get the inside. Right over here, you got Din Djarin's bed. You got the ladder that leads upstairs. These pieces are actually just the doors, as you can see. Same thing on the other side. Kind of just add some room. Right there, I think you got a little battery or generator. Moving back, you know, you can kind of see inside. You got a little back tank. And I believe this entire bag can just pull out just like that, and you can lay Din Djarin in. You got some greebling to show some wiring, and that can just go. The bag can just slide if I can do it, like so. Now, let's get to this part. This part is a little scary, especially to do with one hand. But these engine pieces, first of all, the engine is beautifully designed. I mean, I absolutely love it. It's big and bulky, which is what you're looking for in a set like this. But before we take this off, we're actually going to go, and this piece right here can just lift out. It's a little escape pod, and it can just be opened up, and you can place a figure in there and close it back up and, you know, fly it away. And that kind of gives you some opening. You can see something, but it's not meant to be opened up to get inside, but you can just, you know, drop right back into place. The big thing is this entire panel can just lift up like so. Just like that. It's connected by these two studs, and that allows you to take this panel off and this panel off. And lastly, this panel off. I know it's not connected by a lot, so if you did turn this upside down, I'm telling you, you're gonna have a bad time. But now that we have it like that, we can actually, you know, get better access to it. So in here, if I can, you actually got some of Din Djarin's collected bounties in carbonite. They're just stickers, so they're not the, you know, you don't get so lucky, but they are nice to have. You get a human, and then you had the species of Greedo. I forget the name of them. And then you can take the blue guy, I forget his name, and you can actually just sit him in there like that. And this piece can just come right out, and you can take a look at it. You got a little hinge piece. It's not supposed to be taken down, but whatever. And this is basically him going into carbonite. It can just go right back into there like that. On the opposite side, you got some cooking and some trays, and this whole piece can just come out, and this gives access to some weapons. Pretty cool. And on the top, and the Star Wars language, I forget what it's, I think it's bought? No. God. It's like right on the tongue. But the language of this says baby on board, because, you know, baby Grogu. That just closes it right up, and you can just sit it right. If I can get it, there we go. And then you got Boba Fett's armor, which is very surprising, but a nice addition. And I believe, can these come out? Oh, yes. So these can come out as well, and if I take them out, you get a detonator piece. Pretty cool. You get two. It's the same one on the other, on the bottom side. But yeah, pretty cool. Now I'm gonna have to struggle getting this back in, like so. Moving back, you got some more just very smooth surface area. And on the back, you get the landing gear, which can just come out like so. And you can take Quill and his animal and just basically just walk them up onto here. Kind of like that. Boom. To add a little scenery. Now, with all that taken off, you get, you know, fairly good access to everything. And it's all pretty easy to just come right back on. I mean, I was very surprised, and I can show you right now. We can start with, I believe it starts with this piece. No. So, this piece can just go in like that. Boom. Then I think do I start with this piece? Yeah, I think I start with this piece. And that just snaps right in. There we go. You kind of have to move it around, and finally it will like kind of snug in. And you can take the bigger piece. I believe it actually goes like this, yeah. And that just clamps down. And then finally, with the biggest piece, that being the engines. Man, I am nervous putting it on like this, but as long as nothing bad happens. Sorry, I had to pause because I was a little scared I was actually going to break it, but I did not. Everything kind of snuggles back into place. And you got the top. You can take just this piece, and this just also just slides right in like that. I'm just going to put the Jordan's hairpiece in there. And then finally the cockpit. And it just kind of slides in like that. And boom! We just went through all that. I'm telling you, the build is fantastic. And we're going to put the stand right there. Yeah, I mean, this is a remarkable set. I cannot recommend this more enough. And if you're lucky enough to actually get this set sealed, or if you have the time enough to break it apart and then rebuild it, I highly recommend it. I think just having it pre-built, you don't actually appreciate it as much as when you actually build it. Because going through and building it, I mean, it's a true treasure and an amazing building experience. This is like a 9.5 out of 10 in a set-wise, but overall, including all the figures and everything, it's going to be like an 8 out of 10. But still, that is amazing. On the aftermarket, you're actually not looking at too much of a high price inflation after it retired this past Christmas. Maybe a little bit more expensive if you want to get it sealed. But if you're getting it used or already pre-built, you can actually find it a bit cheaper than retail price. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the very next video, hopefully sooner. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.